Once upon a time in Egypt, along the river Nile lived a poor fisherman. He fished day and night to feed himself and his family. One day while fishing, he saw something strange in the water. It was a large fish like he had never seen before. The fish had scales like gold and fins like silver, and he knew if he could catch it, he would become famous overnight. But the fish was too clever for him and kept darting away just out of his reach. After hours of trying, the little fisherman finally managed to catch it. He pulled and pulled until the fish was finally out of the water. It was even bigger than he had imagined. Overjoyed, he quickly ran home to tell his family about his big catch. But when he got there, he found a genie sitting in a chair inside his house. Startled, he asked the genie, "How did you get in my house? How did you get in my house?" The genie replied calmly, "Don't be afraid, little fisherman. I am here because you have caught me. You know, I am a great lord who rules over all the genies of the waters. And if you had thrown me back into the river, I would have turned myself into a storm and drowned you and your family." The little fisherman fell to his knees in fear and begged for forgiveness. The genie continued, "But since you have captured me, you may ask for a reward, whatever you wish, and I will grant it." The little fisherman thought for a moment. All he wanted was to be rich so he could feed his family and take care of them. So he said, "I want to be rich." The genie waved his magic wand and poof, the little fisherman was no longer poor. He and his family now had everything they could ever need. The fisherman's son was playing nearby and heard what had happened. He came running over and asked his father, "What did you ask for?" The fisherman replied, "I asked for riches. But you, my son, you may also make a wish." The young fisherman thought for a moment. He didn't need anything for himself, but he wanted to show off to his friends. So he said, "I want everyone to believe I am the greatest fisherman in the world." The genie waved his magic wand and poof, everyone believed the young fisherman was the greatest fisherman in the world. From that day on, people told stories about the young fisherman and how he caught a genie fish worth more than all the gold in Egypt. The young fisherman was very proud and happy with his new reputation. He felt important and powerful, and he decided to move to a much bigger house by the river. One day, while the young fisherman was showing off to his friends, he told them how he fooled everyone into thinking he was the best fisherman in the world. His friend asked, "Why didn't you actually catch the biggest fish in the river?" The young fisherman laughed and said, "Because I didn't need to. You see, I tricked everyone into believing I caught the biggest fish, and that's all that matters." His friends were shocked and disappointed. They couldn't believe he had lied to them. Just then, the older fisherman arrived. He heard what his son had said and was deeply disappointed. He had taught his son to be honest and hardworking, but it seemed his son had forgotten his lessons. The old man sighed and said, "My son, why did you lie to your friends? It's always better to be honest, no matter what." The young fisherman looked down in shame. He realized his father was right. He had been so caught up in his own pride and arrogance that he had forgotten the most important lessons his father had taught him. Then an idea struck him. He told his friends, "I'm sorry I lied to you. But you know what? I really did catch the biggest fish in the river. Let me prove it." And with that, he ran to his room, grabbed his fishing rod and went down to the river. Everyone followed him, curious to see what he would do. The young fisherman cast his line into the river and waited patiently. A few moments later, he shouted, "I got one." With all their strengths, they pulled the line until a large fish was out of the water. It was even bigger than the golden genie fish. Everyone gasped in amazement. They couldn't believe the young fisherman had caught such a huge fish. The young fisherman smiled and said, "See, I told you I caught the biggest fish in the river." His friends were stunned. They had never seen such a large fish before. They apologized for not believing him and congratulated him on his amazing catch. The young fisherman was happy to finally be recognized as the best fisherman in the river. As they headed home, the old and young fisherman talked about what had happened. The old fisherman said, "I am glad you realized your mistake, my son. It is always better to be honest, no matter what." The young fisherman nodded, understanding what his father had taught him. He had been so focused on impressing his friends that he had forgotten the most important thing, being honest. From that day on, the young fisherman became the best fisherman in the river, not because he tricked everyone into believing him, but because he was honest about his skills. People loved his honesty and hard work, and he became the most respected fisherman in the village. The young fisherman never forgot the lesson he learned from his father. He passed on the same values to his children and grandchildren, and the tradition of honesty and hard work continued for generations to come. The end. This has been a fairy tale from Egypt. If you enjoyed this story, please leave a like and subscribe. Your support helps us bring more folk tales from around the world. Also check out our other videos that celebrate diversity and promote cultural awareness. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more folk tales from Egypt and around the world. Until next time, peace be upon you.